Пані і панове, з оперативною інформацією з місць.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Andriy Lysenko, spokesman of the... Okay.
Update from the anti-terrorist operation zone. Here, the Colonel Andriy Lysenko, the spokesman of the Information Center of the Ukrainian National Security and Defense Council.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today, Ukrainian soldiers, while performing their duties on the search, disarmament and liquidation of illegal armed formations, liberated another settlement, which is Kruhlik, Luhansk region. Today, the President of Ukraine issued a decree on awarding with State Awards of Ukraine, and 29 Ukrainian military are awarded with the Order of Bogdan Khmelnytsky, 3rd grade, 72 with the Order for Courage, 3rd grade, and a medal for military service, 11. And one other person is awarded the Medal for Irreproachable Service. Today, redeployment and redislocation of the anti-terrorist operation in the east of Ukraine is happening. The strengthening of National Guards in the liberated settlements is taking place. The National Guards are taking part in measures that are being done by local authorities to restore normal conditions of life. There's an ongoing shelling and firing at our positions from the territory of Russia. Today at 1 p.m. for 20 minutes from the Russian territory, there was artillery shelling of locations near the city of Ambrosivka. They were firing from mortars and from Grad batteries. Over this week, our border units were shelled 25 times, and 13 out of this number from the territory of Russia. There were 9 cases of breaking the airspace of Ukraine by helicopters of Russian Federation and 10 by drones. On the territories temporarily occupied by Russian mercenaries, over 7 days, there were 16 cases of kidnapping, 56 illegal season of transportation means, 9 administrative buildings were seized, and 9 times they fired at local residents. In the Teplichny village of Luhansk region, a private entrepreneur was robbed of 45,000 hryvnia by 5 armed people. In Luhansk morgue, the body of the prosecutor from the city of Sverdlovsk, Luhansk region, was found. He was tortured by the terrorists who demanded that he joins the so-called Luhansk People's Republic. When he refused to do so, he was hanged. Today, 5.5 tons of humanitarian help reached Donbass, meant for the residents of the eastern regions of the country. These are foodstuffs, medical preparations, kits for children, kitchen utensils, blankets, mattresses, linen, and children's toys. It was collected by common joint efforts by the state bodyguards of Service of Ukraine, the UNHCR, and the World Health Organization, and UNICEF. The plane landed in Melitopol, Zaporizhia region, and the help was delivered to Mariupol and villages of Yalta and Yurivka, Donetsk region. The cargo was accompanied by the head of the State Emergency Service, Sergei Buchkovsky, together with representatives of diplomatic missions of Sweden and Switzerland, and representatives of the United Nations High Commissioner on Refugees, and the humanitarian help was given to internally displaced persons. Since the total number of resettlers from the anti-terrorist operation zone to other regions as of today amounts to 75,951 persons, including 26,000 children. And during the last day, this number consisted of 3,188 persons. There's ongoing migration from the territory of the temporarily occupied Crimea, where the general number of resettlers to the continent amounts to 16,284, including 4,502 kids. Peaceful life returns to the cities of Donetsk and Luhansk region, which are being liberated from pro-Russian militants. And water is coming back and electricity to Slovyansk, Donetsk region. 14 kindergartens are working in Slovyansk, and 1,252 kids are going to kindergartens in this city. They are also preparing to the 1st of September. Out of 26 general education schools, 25 are already with electricity and 24 with running water. Our emergency services continue to work on the territory of Luhansk region. 2 destroyed houses were disassembled, 18 tons of rubbish were taken away, 3.5 tons of humanitarian help were delivered to Luhansk, and 22 cubic meters of drinking water. Starting from the beginning of July, 10,698 units of ammunition were found and defused. 618 administrative and other buildings were searched, and 25 tons of powder, gunpowder, 25 sacks of cylinder, and 150 kilograms of TNT, as well as 150 kilograms of ammonite were found in Luhansk region. Another batch of 300 pieces of body armor of the 4th class of defense and Kevlar helmets was sent last night to the anti-terrorist operation zone, and the rate of provision of defense body armor in the personnel of Ukrainian armed forces in the east of Ukraine amounts to almost 86%. New body armor was handed to the fighters of the police battalion of Special Forces Skiv that will soon join the service in the east of Ukraine. This became possible because of the initiative of the trade union of the Ministry of Interior and Prosecutor's Office, where everybody voluntarily donated their one-day salary. And as of today, for the policemen and the prosecutors, in Zaporizhia region were able to collect more than 600,000 hryvnia. They bought 50 certified body armor sets and also protective helmets, spectacles, gloves, medical preparations, Also in Kharkiv region, the Zmiev heat electric station was able to military doctors got 3 artificial breathing devices, 1 ventilation and other medical equipment. Microphone. You know, I look at your map and I see that there's much more red on the border. This means that the border is not protected at all. How do you control this? We were able to withdraw from these parts of the border the units of brigades 72 and 79 to take them to a safe place. But as you see, these parts of the border remain under control. So that you understand, we are very much helped by the height which is called Savur Mogila. There were a lot of rumors as if it is being controlled by terrorists, but it is in reality controlled by Ukrainian forces. It is almost 300 meters high, and there were a cruel battle going on for it during the Great Patriotic War. It is a center of fierce fighting now as well. We were able to take the height under our control and deploy our forces there. So our location on this height helps us to control these parts of the border and also half of Donetsk region. But I mean the vicinity of Izvarne and Krasnotalivka and all this. We control this part of the border as well. I have to tell you that all those parts of the border are under control, first of air reconnaissance, of border patrols. This does not mean that there's a barren land there. No, there are units that perform the duty of observation and transfer of information. As soon as we get the information that someone tries to go, for instance, to Krasny Luch, where there's battle now, the air reconnaissance tells us about the movement of convoys. Our military pilots get the task. And you know that they risk their lives while performing these duties. They fly out and they destroy those convoys. About Zaporizhia region where a major has shot a soldier. Yes, I have this information, especially for you. Of course, we are not omnipotent, but we try to do everything possible. On the 5th of August, there was an information in Primorsky police precinct on the highway Berdyansk-Tokmak. A military officer of Ukrainian armed forces, during an abrupt conflagration, shot another military person, and there's an investigation going on. And the military man who performed a murder is now in one of the medical institutions where he's been given treatment for heart disease. Is it true that those were officers from Brigade 72? Is it true that the car that they were in was stolen? And is it true that the major who shot a soldier also shot at doctors? No, we don't have this information. Any other questions? You said that there is a battle going on around Krasny Luch. No, I cannot go into detail, because when the battle is going on, the situation is constantly changing. We can tell you everything when, as far as the results of the battles is concerned. You know, our briefing at 5 p.m. is usually at the height of those battles, so we cannot now tell you who moved to 200 or 300 meters forward or backward, because it will change. What's the situation at the crash site? Whether the terrorists give the opportunity to experts to conduct investigation. The matter is that a day ago, members of the International Commission adopted the decision that temporarily they suspend their work because of the constant threat to their lives, because of firing that terrorists are conducting. Ukrainian forces are not shooting. There's a small group of experts. As soon as there's an opportunity to go on with the investigation, all the experts will come back and the investigation will continue. Other questions? Yes. You showed the parts of the border that were allowed, the parts of the crash site where the experts were allowed to go. Then you told us that it turned out that there's reinforcements there, fortifications there. That's why the experts were not allowed to go there. But today, I don't remember what was the official source. It was said that anti-terrorist operations won't act there. Will there be any reaction to those fortifications there? Very easy to answer your question. Why? I explain. I have more than once told you that the site of the crash is between settlements, and it doesn't have any strategic significance for the movement of Ukrainian forces. Even if terrorists are there with their artillery systems and fortifications, they won't hinder the liberation of the cities. They have to understand that if they remain there, they will be encircled and destroyed or taken prisoners. We expect that they will leave the site very soon. There's no sense for us to bomb the site now. Our main objective now is to liberate settlements. So I remind you that Colonel Lysenko will be here tomorrow at noon. Thank you.